You see that? You feel that? That visceral thwack? That wasn't just a sound effect, folks. That wasn't some Hollywood punch for the silver screen. That, right there, was the sound of a legend, a living icon, a man who has bled, sweat, and sacrificed decades of his life for our entertainment, finally, unleashing years of bottled-up disrespect, mockery, and outright contempt. This wasn't just a slap. Oh no. This was an earthquake. A sonic boom. The kind of moment that makes your teeth ache and your jaw clench, whether you're watching it live or replaying it for the 100th time. And if you're not feeling that righteous indignation bubbling in your gut right now, if you're not feeling that surge of adrenaline, then you haven't truly understood what we witnessed. Because what happened when Rey Mysterio's open hand met Logan Paul's insufferable smirk wasn't just a physical act. It was a statement. A declaration. A thunderclap in the silent, simmering storm of Logan Paul's arrogant reign. And if you're still here, still with me, still feeling that tremor, then you already know this isn't just another highlight reel. This is a deep dive. This is us, together, dissecting every micro-expression, every subtle shift in body language, every word, every breath that led to that earth-shattering moment. Because to truly grasp the magnitude of what Rey Mysterio did, to truly understand why that slap resonated across the entire wrestling world, we need to go back. We need to rewind the tape, strip away the noise, and look at the insidious, calculated campaign of disrespect that Logan Paul had been waging. A campaign that pushed a good man, a family man, a legend, to his absolute breaking point. Before that hand connected, before the shockwave ripped through the arena, there was Logan Paul, standing in the center of that ring, basking in the manufactured heat of his own infamy. His voice, that grating, self-assured drone, filled the arena. He wasn't just talking to the crowd, he was talking down to them. He was talking down to us. Reflecting on his recent matches, he spoke with the kind of casual arrogance that only someone utterly devoid of self-awareness can possess. He was preening, strutting, acting as if he was the one who had overcome insurmountable odds, when in reality, every victory he claimed felt tainted, hollow, and undeserved. And then, he started on Rey. You could feel the shift in the air, couldn't you? Even through the screen, that uncomfortable tension started to build. It's like when you're watching a movie and you know the villain is about to say something truly unforgivable. Your shoulders tense, your breath hitches. That's what it was like. Logan Paul, with that smug, entitled grin plastered across his face, began to mock Rey Mysterio. And not just general wrestling trash talk. Oh no. He went specific. He went personal. He brought up Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel. The match where, let's not forget, Logan Paul didn't win fair and square. He didn't out-wrestle Rey. He didn't outsmart him through sheer skill. He cheated. He used brass knuckles. A cheap shot. A cowardly move. The kind of tactic that forever stains a victory, turning it from a testament of strength into an admission of weakness. And yet, there he was, Logan Paul, gloating, relishing in his illicit gain, twisting the knife, rubbing salt into the wound of a man who has given his entire life to the purity of the sport. He talked about those brass knuckles, not with an ounce of shame, but with a perverse pride, as if deceiving a legend was something to be celebrated. Think about that for a second. Think about the audacity. The sheer, unadulterated disrespect. It wasn't just Logan Paul being a heel, it was Logan Paul being a bully. A loud-mouthed, obnoxious bully who knew exactly how to twist the knife, how to needle, how to provoke. He wasn't just insulting Rey Mysterio as a competitor, he was attacking his integrity, his legacy, everything Rey stands for. He was effectively saying, I beat you, old man, and I did it by cheating, and you couldn't do anything about it. And I'm proud of it. The frustration, the anger, the absolute fury that must have been burning inside Rey Mysterio at that moment, it's almost unimaginable. To stand there, to listen to this arrogant newcomer, this influencer who stumbled into a ring with no real respect for its traditions, its history, its sacrifices, and hear him gloat about cheating a legend. It's the kind of moment that makes every true wrestling fan's blood boil. It's the kind of moment that makes you want to reach through the screen, grab Paul by his ridiculous hair, and shake some sense into him. But then, the music hit. That familiar, iconic riff. The arena, which had been buzzing with a mixture of boos for Paul and nervous anticipation, erupted. It wasn't just music, it was a siren call, a signal that help was on the way, or rather, that justice was about to be served. Rey Mysterio, the master of the 619, the ultimate underdog, the man who, for decades, has captivated audiences with his unparalleled athleticism and unwavering spirit. He emerged not just as a wrestler, but as the embodiment of everything Logan Paul isn't: integrity, respect, and heart. He walked with purpose. Every step carried the weight of his legacy, the frustration of past injustices, and the silent promise of retribution. He entered the ring, not rushing, not panicking, but with a controlled intensity. He didn't even need to speak. His presence alone was enough to silence Logan Paul's incessant bluster, at least for a moment. The dynamic shifted immediately. The air crackled with anticipation. And there they stood, face to face. The legend, stoic and simmering, eyes hidden but presence undeniable. And the upstart, still trying to project an aura of unbothered superiority, but you could almost see the tiny flicker of unease in his eyes. He tried to play it cool. He tried to maintain his facade. But he was in the presence of true greatness, and even Logan Paul, in his deepest, most primal core, must have felt that. Then, Paul opened his mouth again. And this right here, was the true insult. This was the moment that pushed Rey, not just to the brink, but over it. Paul attempted to patronize Mysterio, to belittle him further. He adopted this sickeningly saccharine tone, this fake, manufactured pleasantry. He said he was a huge fan, a phrase that, coming from him, sounded less like admiration and more like a thinly veiled insult. It was condescending. It was dismissive. It was the ultimate disrespect, pretending to respect someone while actively tearing them down. And then, he offered a mock handshake. A mock handshake. Think about that. The handshake, in wrestling, is a symbol of respect, of sportsmanship. Even between the bitterest rivals, there's often a grudging acknowledgement of the shared craft, the shared sacrifice. But Logan Paul wasn't offering respect. He was offering a poisoned chalice. He was mocking the very idea of it. It was an act of supreme psychological warfare, designed to strip Rey Mysterio of his dignity, to make him feel small, to make him question his own worth in the face of this arrogant newcomer. It was a challenge, not to a fight, but to Rey's very soul. And in that moment, something inside Rey Mysterio snapped. Not violently, not impulsively, but with the quiet, devastating force of a dam finally breaking. All the years of dedication, all the bumps and bruises, all the times he'd been disrespected by others, all the times he'd fought for his family, for his name, for his legacy, it all coalesced into a single, laser-focused point of pure, unadulterated anger. His hand moved. It wasn't a wind-up. It wasn't a theatrical swing. It was swift. It was decisive. It was surgical. And it was devastating. Smack! The sound, amplified through the arena, was deafening. It wasn't just the sound of skin on skin, it was the sound of decades of frustration, of righteous fury, of a legend saying enough. It was the sound of Logan Paul's arrogant, smirking face finally meeting the reality of consequences. The camera lingered, just for a moment, on the immediate aftermath. Logan Paul's head snapped back. His eyes, for the first time, weren't smug, they were wide with shock, with disbelief, with a sudden, horrifying realization that he had pushed too far. The smirk was gone, replaced by a raw, stinging humiliation. The crowd erupted. Not just cheers, but a roar of collective catharsis. It was as if every single person in that arena, every single fan watching at home, had wanted to deliver that slap themselves. It was our frustration, our anger, finding its voice through Rey Mysterio's hand. It was beautiful. It was glorious. It was everything we had hoped for and more. But Rey wasn't done. Oh no. That slap was just the appetizer. The warning shot. Logan Paul, stunned and momentarily disoriented, tried to retaliate. His instincts kicked in, the fight-or-flight response overriding the shock. He lunged, probably fueled by a desperate need to regain some semblance of control, to erase the memory of that stinging humiliation. But Rey Mysterio is not just a legend because of his heart, he's a legend because of his unparalleled skill. Even at his age, even against a younger, supposedly stronger opponent, Rey's instincts are sharper, his movements more fluid, his mind always 2 steps ahead. Paul swung, likely a wild, uncoordinated punch born of pure rage. And Rey? He ducked. Effortlessly. A blur of motion. He slipped under Paul's flailing arm, a ghost in the machine. And then, with the grace and precision that have defined his entire career, he executed it, a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. It was poetry in motion. A beautiful, brutal ballet. Rey, using Paul's own momentum against him, leveraged his body, twisted him, and sent him tumbling. Not just to the mat, but out of the ring. Logan Paul, the arrogant, entitled maverick, was unceremoniously dumped onto the cold, hard floor outside the squared circle. The ultimate indignity. Not just slapped, but physically expelled from the domain of the legend he had so brazenly disrespected. And there he stood, Rey Mysterio, in the center of the ring, alone, victorious. Not with a championship belt, not with a pinfall, but with something far more profound, his dignity restored, his point made, his reputation defended. He didn't gloat. He didn't boast. He just stood there, tall, proud, and defiant. It was a silent testament to the power of respect, the resilience of a true legend, and the unwavering spirit of a man who has always fought for what is right. Meanwhile, Logan Paul, limping, stumbling, retreating up the ramp, clutching his jaw, still reeling from the impact, still undoubtedly feeling the burning shame of that public humiliation. He was jawing at the crowd, probably spewing obscenities, trying to project strength, trying to recover his shattered bravado. But it was too late. The damage was done. The message had been delivered, loud and clear, by the hand of Rey Mysterio. This wasn't just a moment in wrestling history, it was a watershed. It was a reaffirmation of everything we love about this sport. It was the triumph of heart over arrogance, of skill over manufactured hype, of respect over condescension. It was a reminder that no matter how loud, how obnoxious, or how privileged someone might be, there are some lines you just don't cross. There are some legends you just don't disrespect. And if you're still watching, if you felt that surge of satisfaction, that collective roar of approval, then you understand. You understand why this moment will be replayed for years to come. You understand why Rey Mysterio is more than just a wrestler. He's an icon, a symbol of perseverance, and a hero to so many of us who have felt disrespected, overlooked, or pushed too far. If this deep dive into one of the most satisfying moments in recent memory, has resonated with you, if it's made you cheer, or gasp, or even just smile in triumphant satisfaction, then please, consider hitting that like button. Let us know you felt it too. Share this with every wrestling fan you know, because moments like these are meant to be celebrated, to be talked about, to be etched into the very fabric of our collective memory. And if you're new here, if you've just stumbled upon Ring Rumble and found yourself captivated by the raw emotion and deep analysis of these incredible moments, then I implore you, with all my heart, to subscribe. Every single subscriber helps us continue to bring you these in-depth looks, these passionate breakdowns, these celebrations of the sport we all love. It's tough out there, making these videos, digging into the archives, trying to capture the lightning in a bottle that makes wrestling so special. Your support, your simple act of clicking that subscribe button, means the world to me. It means we can keep fighting the good fight, keep dissecting the controversies, and keep celebrating the legends who make us feel. So please, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, join the Ring Rumble family. We'd be honored to have you. What did you think of that slap? Were you cheering? Were you on the edge of your seat? Did you think Rey went too far, or not far enough? Let me know everything in the comments below. Let's keep this rumble going. Until next time, stay passionate, stay loud, and never, ever forget the power of a legend's open hand.